Hello and welcome to the Monday edition of the UFO Planet Sightings News Report. I'm your host, Darren Crapo. Thanks for joining in. On today's program, I have some of the most fascinating UFO sightings that have happened since our last Sightings and News Report. Some very interesting stuff to look at today, so stick around. We'll be right back. Thank you for tuning into the program today. I hope you all had a uneventful, stress-less weekend this weekend. And hopefully, if you had a rough day at work today, maybe we can wipe a little of that stress away with some fascinating UFO sightings and some interesting news headlines from around the world that have to do with UFOs. And that's exactly where we're going first on today's program. We're going to begin down in Australia in the Sunday Morning Herald. They have a story in there about, well, I guess it's a movie that is being released in Sydney this week. It's called Australian Skies. And what you're seeing on the screen there right now is the trailer for that movie and some of the people that they will be interviewing in this documentary. If you're living in Sydney or near Sydney or have access to it, I think you would really enjoy checking this out. I know if I was down under, I would be right over there because I look at some of the footage here and it looks absolutely fascinating. You guys have some excellent sightings down there in Australia. I'm very jealous. Take a look at that one on the screen right now as an example. Some amazing looking stuff. But anyway, this takes place this week in Sydney, Australia, and it explores sightings of unidentified flying objects and the people who witnessed them down in Australia. How exciting is that? I think they should do that for virtually every country. If anyone happens to make it to this production in Sydney, I would really like to hear from you in email and let me know what you thought of it and what kind of materials you saw in there, and maybe then we can try and get some of the people on Planet Plus to talk to them that were in the series. Next, we're going to take a look at a clip that I already had on here, and I've corrected a couple of things. I think you pronounced the name Chichester. Thanks everyone for your great sense of humors in the emails last week. That was rather funny. Now, if you remember this story, I said, well, this UFO, I don't think it has anything to do with the video because I didn't see it in the video. Well, Colin Rowling was kind enough to send along a message there on YouTube and correct me and let me know where exactly was, or the UFO was in the video. So I totally missed it. Totally missed it. And thanks so much, Colin, for that. And so what we're going to do is I've re-edited this video clip and I'm going to show you where the actual UFO is. Remember before I said it was the airplane on the side of that bomber there, wherein, as a matter of fact, it's just 3 frames at the very end of this video. So I slow it down into slow motion and zoom it into the area there so you can have a better look, and that's coming up right now. This video comes from Miss Wombly Wombat's channel, and there is the UFO. As I mentioned before, it's only 3 frames, so it's moving fast, and it definitely has a saucer shape. If you look at it and you have a really good capture of it, and you look at it, it definitely does. So this video from Chichester takes on a whole different meaning now, doesn't it, now that we know where that UFO is. So thanks so much for that, Colin Rowling. I appreciate you sending me that information and your participation in today's program. It's always great to hear from people. Grimsby Telegraph now. Could UFO sighting in Louth have been a drone? So they actually have a map. There's so many of these being seen, but there was a guy down there, Keith Angel, who said that as I drove down Grimsby Road, I heard a loud jet engine sound above that was louder than the car's engine. Now, a whole bunch of other people said they've heard the same thing. And one woman says she was walking past the church around 11 p.m. and heard a noise similar to what the person has described. He looked up to see she looked up to see bright lights coming, and you know what a drone looks like. And then she walked around to the back of the church and saw the guy with the remote control controlling it. So I guess the debate is on over there. What is it? This story from Science 2000, when a UFO flies by, does it bother bears? At first I thought, wow, these guys have way too much money on their hands. And then I read the article. And what it is, as a matter of fact, they are using drones to study bears. But an interesting they discovered during the study is that when they fly the drones over the bears, the monitors on the bears pick up increased heart rates. So like some of them are 4 times faster when this drone is flying over. So if you're heading out to the woods with your drone this summer hoping to catch some wildlife, you might want to keep in mind that you are going to stress and cause the wildlife some, I guess, some discomfort and some probably make them not very happy, which isn't always a good thing to do with wildlife. But that was interesting. Like I said, at first I thought they had too much money on their hands. But it was good to see that they were using drones to study them. But it was also good to see that they discovered that that might not be such a good idea. Maybe they need to just fly them higher and use better cameras. Who knows? And it'll fix the problem. We have a whole lot of UFO sightings coming up on today's program. When I come back after this break, I'll give you the first 4. Stick around.
UFO Planet.
I think it's great when an American president admits to seeing a UFO. I just want to send out my condolences to President Carter. Just this past week, he announced that he has terminal cancer and that he's not going to be with us for very much longer. It's always sad to see a good man leave the earth, but it's always good to see a good man side with the UFO world as well, too. Speaking of UFOs, it's time to take a look at our sightings. These are sightings, our first group of 4 sightings. They have no audio included with them, but nonetheless, they are sightings from around the world. We're going to begin in Indiana, in the United States of America. This sighting was captured on August 6th, 2015. It's an unknown location. I just want to mention to people that when you fill out a report, it's great if you put the location. So this guy looks up and sees a bright light shaped, kind of triangle looking thing about 1,000 feet up in the air. And he says he didn't have any problem telling what it was because there was nothing else really up in the sky. He stopped for a couple of minutes and had a look at it and took these photographs. He's sharing them with us here on the program today from somewhere in Indiana in the United States of America. Next, we're going to check out a sighting that comes to us from, New York in the United States of America. And this sighting was reported to have occurred on August 22nd. And I'm telling you, there were a lot of sightings around the world on August 22nd, as you're probably noticing on today's program and from the ticker. This again was from an unknown location in New York. And the person looked out the window to see if it was raining, and they were surprised to see lights hovering above one of the nearby buildings. The object reportedly made no noise at all, but I think that may have been a distance issue, possibly. When I look at this, I clearly see blue, red, whatever flashing lights on the object you can see right there. And it may be an aircraft that's just far away. Anyway, that was captured somewhere in New York in the United States of America just this past August 22nd. What do you guys think we were looking at there? Any ideas? I really like reading your comments in the comment section. I read every one of them. Now we're going to go down to cattle country, to Houston, Texas in the United States of America. This was a sighting that was captured using, was captured using a camera and a series of 4 photographs. Apparently they never noticed the objects in the photographs, so because they were taking pictures of clouds. But this isn't your typical reflection video or photos for sure, because if you notice the position of this object in the sky, it clearly moves across the sky. You see it right there, it's to the left of the sky rise, clearly, and looks lower. Now in the next photograph here, we see this object has moved and is now right over top of that sky rise there in Houston, Texas. This is just recently on August 22nd, like most of the sightings on today's program were from August 22nd. Maybe they had a reunion here on Earth, who knows. Next, we're going to go to the busy city of Manhattan, New York. Again, August 22nd. Just want to say hello to the relatives that live in the middle of Manhattan there. Thanks for watching the program, and I was sorry I didn't get to see you when you were up here in Canada this summer. In any case, now let's take a look at this sighting. There's a little object you see up in the middle there bouncing around. That's not what we're looking at. You can see the light in the background there. Keep your eyes peeled to just above the light, and you're going to see something that starts to rise, kind of coming out of that light. And there you see it now. And they don't believe these were drones they were looking at. I bet you there's a few people out there who know what they were looking at, because there's multiple of them, and they're kind of following the same trajectory, the same flight path, and they're not moving too fast. So those are clues. And I know I have viewers out there that are experts, so post some comments there. If I had to put my vote, it would probably go with the Chinese lanterns, unfortunately. Nonetheless, there's a lot of people all over the world that see something that they believe is truly fascinating, just like these people did in Manhattan. And they don't have a clue what it is, because they've never seen Chinese lanterns before, and they've never seen a UFO before. But if you have, and you happen to have footage of it, I would really like to hear from you. My email address is darren@4u2ctv.com, or if you prefer, you can submit it at MUFON, and I will get it from there. And sometimes that makes it easy for me to get a hold of your media. Plus, you get some experts taking a look at what you've submitted. There's a lot more coming up yet, including our top 5, and I'll get to that right after this break. Stay tuned.
UFO Planet.
It's time now for our top 5 sightings of today's program. All of the sightings that are submitted, I go through them and I select what I think are the top 5 sightings. Some of the sightings on today's show have audio, some don't. We're going to begin in Cougar, Washington for a March 31st sighting. I suppose Cougar was named after the animal with 4 legs and not the one with 2. So we are heading to Cougar here. A little bit of my sense of humor mixed in there. We've all seen this before, and this is what happened in Cougar. They saw this bright orb that was kind of giving off this light, and then it crossed the river. When it got to the other side of the river, this is what they saw. Very fascinating. Wait till you see the next photograph that's even closer yet. Take a look at that. Sitting on near Pine Creek, sipping on a beer, and they get the privilege of a lifetime to see a fascinating UFO. Now what we have to decide is, what is that unidentified flying object? What are they seeing in Cougar? I don't see any legs. Now we're going to head off to Norridge, Illinois. This is for a UFO sighting that was captured on Independence Day on July 4th. I want you to listen carefully to the audio in the background. It's an important clue in this video.
Are you watching that, Tom?
Yeah, moving slow. Big brother.
Wish I can get some more clarity. Something for a frame of reference. Isn't that crazy?
Well, there we have it, an experience coming to us from Norridge, Illinois in the United States of America on July 4th with fireworks in the background. Heading off next to New Kensington, Pennsylvania. This is an interesting sighting. And this sighting was submitted, I think, a couple of times. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the information through that we need to know what really went on and what he was trying to record. So we just kind of have to look at this video and figure it out for ourselves. So what I see here is, and it kind of helps too that he zooms in now and then, all throughout this video, but take a closer look here. What I see is a communication tower in the background there. And in the foreground, near his mouse cursor there, you see some sort of an orb or a light that seems to be ascending into the sky. He keeps zooming in here quite a bit and, gives us an idea. Now compare the, the type of brightness of the light and whatnot to the brightness of the light on the towers. I'm not sure if that means anything, but, those towers don't have very big lights. So that might be a light on an object that is emanating that illumination there. There's a little bit of a closer look there. Can you notice colors flashing in that? I thought I saw some colors. And that too could be a clue as to what we're looking at here. This object keeps ascending. It's not moving very fast, is it? Really, not at all. So let's just go through what the options could be. What's the obvious? An aircraft, a helicopter. It could be an ET. It could be Donald Trump and the boys. Who knows? Maybe him and Hillary are heading out for coffee at Tim Hortons. A little bit closer look there again. It is interesting to see, but it's unfortunate at night because the illumination shows up on camera often obscures the actual detail of what we're looking at. This was recorded again just on the 22nd, just like so many of the sightings on today's program. When I went through that, I thought that's rather odd. Just so many things went on in one single day. Just like you see at the bottom of your screen there in Gilbert, Arizona on August 22nd. This object continues up into the sky. This is a couple of minute video, but it's nice to have a look at an entire video. I try and do that on the program now, unless a video is like 10 minutes long, because I can't do that. But if something's 2 minutes or less, you'll see in most cases the entire video on UFO Planet Sightings and News Report. Coming to us from New Kensington, Pennsylvania, MUFON case number 69702. As I've mentioned before, you can go to MUFON and check out all of the sightings that you see on the program. Next, we're going to head to Yellowstone Park in Wyoming. This was, I believe, June 22nd there. And this is a single photograph that was captured of an object. You're going to see a beautiful scenery here from Yellowstone. Yes, it is June 22nd, 2015, over in Wyoming. So we see the beautiful scenery. Take a look up in the air, though. There's something that's a little bit out of place. Now, the passenger in the car was taking the photographs as they were passing through the Grand Teton Mountains. Took this photograph, and it wasn't until later that they noticed that there was something in there that they said was saucer-like, except it had a strange appendage on the left. And when you run it through some filters here, to me it kind of has the shape of a fish lying on its side. But it definitely isn't something you see up in the sky too often. So when it was just the one lucky photo that they happened to snap, and neither of the people that were in the car actually saw the object as they were taking the photograph. And you know how viewfinders are, though. When you're looking for a tiny little viewfinder like they were here in Yellowstone, it's really difficult to see what's there because it's so small. For our final number 5 today, we're going to go to Warren, Ohio in the United States of America. Now this experience just happened in August. We don't have an exact date, we just know the month, but it has audio with it, so let's listen in.
Now you tell me.
What, because it's orange?
Wait till it shoots off. Oh my God, it's so...
It's gonna shoot off?
Watch. Jumping jack-o'-lanterns. You be quiet. Hey, I'm just saying. It's just hovering now. It's flying away. No, it's just staying in that one area above the trees. What's he doing? You see it, Karen? Do you see how it's not moving?
Well, it is.
It's just hovering now.
Yeah.
I think it's
No,
flying.
it's going to the right now. Well, it's kind of.
It's flying
A fascinating sighting coming to us from Warren, Ohio. Experienced sometime in August this year, I guess just not that long ago. That's it for our top 5 sightings into the day. And my favorite part of the program is coming up next, and that's our top clip of the day, which is an experience between a mother and her 10-year-old daughter. You're going to want to stick around and see it. Stay tuned.
UFO Planet.
It's my favorite part of the program. I just need to get rid of that top 5 sightings. It's the hot video clip. Today's an excellent example of a hot video clip. And why is it hot? Because it's an amazing experience that a mother shares with her 10-year-old daughter. You can't ask for anything better, and you'll see why.
Where? What are they? What are they? Hold on, it'll be over. I just want to videotape it. What is it? Did you see how it started? Like, did it start from someone's house?
Hot video clip of the day from Aurora, Illinois. Isn't that amazing to be able to tap right into an experience that a mother shared with her 10-year-old daughter? And what's even more amazing is you can be assured that that 10-year-old daughter is going to be totally interested in UFOs as she grows up. And that's exactly what we need more of in this world, isn't it? It's been an amazing experience shared with you today. Thank you so much to all of you who participated by submitting your videos, and those of you who will participate by making your comments. I'd really like to hear from you, Darren at 4u2ctv.com. I love hearing from my viewers. You're all important to me. My name's Darren Crapo, and you'll see me again this Thursday on the next episode of Sightings and News Report. Thank you so much for watching.